This is Adam. I completely agree with DJ. I think that was one of the things I was going to add, is that there is a third way from what BionicDance was saying you could deal with it. The other way you can deal with it is put them face to face with the fact that their offense, them taking offense at something is not a defense at anything. But the other thing that I wanted to also point out is that, well, technically speaking, we are kind of offending people. I'm not sure that there is a way to say in an unoffensive way, do you realize that you wasted your life believing in your invisible friend? And I mean, that is, well, kind of what we're doing.
No, that's a good reason not to say that. This is Joe. I just wanted to say, we don't need to tell Christians they're wasting their life by being Christians or any religion, because
no.
I know what you're saying.
I really wasn't saying. I really wasn't saying specifically that. I was saying that that is the way that they see it, and technically speaking, they're kind of right.
No, we need to let them know. We need to let them know that we're not coming down on their whole life or even their biggest thrill. The point is with religion is that it's a side issue to life. Most of the life they lead is secular. We just need to remind them that religion is the unnecessary small part that they're adding, but that life is mostly secular and the good parts of life are secular. Sorry, go ahead.
I completely agree.
One person I wanted to put on, and we've had several people in the chat room asking the same thing to address this question, is Dan. Dan, are you there now?
You hear me?
Yes. I don't know what happened. I was trying to... Anyway, you're here now. You've dealt with this. Any comments?
What was it again? Could you repeat?
Basically, somebody had asked a question about how do you deal with people who, play the "I'm offended" card with respect to what you're saying.
Well, it depends. I mean, if we're having a civil conversation and they're offended, then I might try to ask them why they're offended and try to get some more details and how can I make this a more comfortable conversation. But if they're just being loudmouth and, oh, I'm highly offended by you, I say, well, you need me to change your diaper for you? It really just depends on how the conversation is going as to how I'm going to approach it.
Well, haven't you had a bunch of people, recently you were commenting about this on your channel, that they would make video responses to what you would say, but then you'd look at the video response, but then they wouldn't allow any comments back on the video response?
Yeah, like I'd have a video and then they would make a response to it, and then it's like, okay, my subscribers want to watch your video and they want to interact with you too, and they're blocking. It's like you can't rate, you can't comment, you can't message them unless you're friends with them. They're really just, it feels like they're dictating. It feels like they're coming down high and telling you how it is and then cutting off all communication and running away. And if I wanted that, I'd go to church. But it's very frustrating because I think the purpose of what we're doing on YouTube, well, for me anyway, is to communicate with others, find where other people are coming from, and learn something. Mm-hmm. I've learned quite a bit from a lot of the people on the panel here, in fact, and I just don't see I don't see it as useful when someone's going to just throw it out there. This is how it is. That's how you have to take it, and they don't want to hear it. It's not productive to advance the conversation.
If I could add on to what Dan's saying here, Honest Discussioner here, I'm going to have to agree with everything he's saying there and add on a little bit to it, because as soon as anyone, if I ever get a video that doesn't allow comments, I basically don't even bother with it. It's even if I don't intend to comment, if you're going to be putting something out there and you obviously don't want any sort of response to it, then I see it as there's no point to it. But again, what Dan sort of touched on was what I try to do is kind of try to understand where people are coming from, where Christians are coming from, and try to get them to understand where I'm coming from. And it works kind of on two levels. You have to understand if they're actually trying to understand you or if they're trolls. I found the best way to handle the ones that are just trying to get a rise out of you is to kind of be amused by it because they really hate that. But as far as the ones that are just kind of angry at you for being an atheist, for what Adam was saying, our basic existence is an offense to them because we are, by existing, stating that their views are a waste of their entire life in a way that can't be helped. But I found the more that you try to get them to understand you and understand who you are, and the more you try to understand them, they're generally more willing to talk. I've had a lot of Christians actually apologize to me after an initial reaction on the last video that I did to Jack. Actually, I had someone do that exact same thing. Just react to my comments, and then when I explained myself, they officially redacted all their comments. I could have just told them they were an idiot, but instead, if you actually try to get them to understand where you're coming from, I think they generally appreciate that a little more.
Well, I would agree, and and that's the approach I'm taking with God discussion is really working more from the church and state issue because I see that more as a common denominator, at least with the audience I'm working with. And when you can get that and have a two-way discussion, it's good, and I think it's possible. And that's, very good points all the way around. I need to get to the next call. Oh, BionicDance, did you want to say something? And then?
Yes, just one real quick interjection. A tactic I've been using lately that may seem a trifle draconian, but I've found it useful, is to separate the serious theist commenters on your videos from the ones who are just there to troll, is if you're asking them direct questions and they're refusing to answer, and they've refused to answer like 2 or 3 times you've asked the same question, I've actually said to them, look, either answer the question or I'm just going to block you because this is pointless. Now, blocking someone is kind of considered rude on YouTube, but at the same time, if someone's not willing to have a two-way discussion with you, it may be all you can do. So
exactly.
That's the tactic I've employed.